Right. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about QNXT, one of the core healthcare application we are using in the healthcare environment. It can be for claim processing, it can be for benefit enrollment, all that. So there are major applications uses in core healthcare administration facets. We have one more about QNXT. And third application is called Health Edge, right? So these are three major applications. Apart from that, there were other applications also. But QNext is a healthcare application which majorly used for core healthcare understanding. In this regard, so first of all, let me explain you an agenda point, what I'm going to discuss in today's session and how this can be detailed, etc. So that part I'll be discussing, right? So this is what the agenda was. Like, first of all, we must be knowing about the QNext as in understanding from the high level perspective. At the same time, we must be knowing about what are the different core modules that we have, followed by these module interactions. At the same time, integration points and implementation considerations. Now, when we try to understand about QNext is one of the core healthcare enterprise grade administrative platform, especially being used by the payers. We know because there are two different people are there in healthcare environment. One is providers, second is a payer. Providers nothing but healthcare providers. It can be hospitals, clinics, physicians, all that. Payer nothing but an insurance company, whoever has provided health insurance to the customers. If there is any reimbursement has been taken place based upon the treatment has undergone in the hospital, hospital will submit a claim to the payer company, insurance company, so that insurance company will process the claims and finally claim submission and claim adjudication. Followed by this claims settlement will be made by the payer company. Now, to manage all this, it's not only about the payer, it's not only about the claim related stuff. It can be for benefit enrollment, it can be provider network management. Multiple core healthcare administration applications are being used in the payer side. One is facets, anyway that you are aware of. I have posted many of my training videos on facets earlier. If you haven't gone through that, I'll give the link description below so that you can go through that. Second, about the QNext, right? So this is also more or less like facets only. But it has major core capabilities one should understand. One is about the enrollment. I am referring to benefit enrollment. For example, any person wants to have an health insurance program, they have to enroll first. If they want to have an enrollment, whether that person is having valid eligibility or not, has to cross check. So this process will be done under the enrollment. That's what we call it as eligibility enrollment, benefit enrollment, we call it as. Second, about the claim adjudication. Claim adjudication means once the claim process is initiated, claim submission will be done by the provider. So once claim that we received, so we have to adjudicate, right? So what information was mentioned on the document, to what extent the information given by the customer is it right or not, accurate or not, right? So including the treatment that was given there. At the same time, cost which is mentioned for the particular treatment, right? So, but that cost they may have any difference of understanding, so that claim adjudication will be subsequently done. So finally, claim settlement will be done, right? So status, it can be denial, it can be payment, anything, right? So this is all about the claim adjudication. This is also one of the core capability apart from benefit enrollments. Next, provider management. Provider management means any payer company will manage the payer provider list. Provider is nothing but healthcare providers, whoever provide healthcare treatment to the patients. They'll be in two different networks. One is East network, second is West network. But from company to company, we will be associating with some provider company. Provider means healthcare hospitals and all. So some hospital, some XYZ is a hospital, a patient has undergone the treatment. So which insurance company they are tied up with? So provider management or provider network management. So in our systems, especially on the payer systems, we have to manage the payer network, provider network management. We have to make a list of all the providers, whoever we are associated with the insurance company, and we have to manage that subsequently. This is all about the provider network management, we call it as. This provider network management, whatever the process will be a continuous process because new customers will come into, new providers will come, and if there is any renewals happens, and some renewals were completed, so that the old details will be removed and new details will be updated. So for that, provider management is also provider network management. More than that, I can say. Next, care coordination, right? What kind of care are we going to provide in terms of the treatment provided to the patient and all, right? So how are we going to manage, right? So how, because customer is paying annual premiums regarding the health insurance on monthly basis or quarterly, half yearly and annually bill payment are premium. So the care coordination has to be taken in this regard. So care coordination followed by reporting because we need to generate reports, multiple reports based upon our requirements so that subsequently we can manage all these things in well in advance. So these are all the core capabilities which generally which can be maintained using QNXT application. Next, it's a rule driven because any application, to matter to the fact, it is nothing to do with only QNXT. Because any application we use, it must be rules driven. Rule driven, nothing but business rules. Whatever the business rules that we have identified from the organization side, those based upon the business rules, we have to configure. That's the reason why in the application level we talk about two things. One is on the configuration side, second is on the integration side. Configuration, nothing but customization, right? So you are making necessary changes on the application. Either it can be page level configurations, it can be database level configurations, module level, network management configurations. Everything can be done under the configuration side. When we talk about integration, means you are integrating from one system to another system. Either it can be an internal or external systems or any kind of EDI systems that we have, or any CMM level systems, CRM, ERP level systems. So QNext application, as in when like another other applications also, it's a business rule driven application. At the same time, QNext can be configurable workflows we have. Followed by this, we can complete the integration ready so that what are the different APIs. Normally, we use RESTful API. That is something that we use it here. At the same time, different file formats. We have something like XML file formats, and whatever the data that we are transforming, everything will be in the electronic format. This is something we call it as EDI, which stands for electronic data interchanges. So integration has to happen, right? So because the RESTful API we are using, so using RESTful API we can integrate. So QNext is rule driven, as I mentioned you, business rule driven. It's a configurable workflows. At the same time, it must be an integration ready. So this is the overall understanding when it comes to the QNext is concerned. Now the first one, right? So because now I'm going to explain you the details. Like these are the different modules we have. As in the first one about I told you eligibility and enrollment, right? So member enrollment, I'm saying member intake. At the same time, what are the benefits members will get based upon the policy that they have taken, right? So from where when the policy has started, right? What are the coverages that we can cover? Everything will be covered under the eligibility and enrollment. Detailed part, I'll discuss it later because this is the detailed understanding on a high level note I'm giving. One by one, how this member enrollment will be taken place, how the benefits will be taken place, right? So how the coverage types will be initiated. So there are detailed explanation can be done in coming time, right? So in next sessions we can discuss on that. Next one about the member management. Member management means demographics. Based upon the demographic conditions and all, how to be managed healthcare members. At the same time, their benefit history, right? So benefit ID management, followed by the kind of relationships we have with subscribers, dependent. Everything will be part of member management. Next one about claim processing. Whatever the claim processing intake that we have received and all. So once claim is received, usually we have to verify and validate to what extent whatever the details were given in the claim form was uh, right or not, right? So is there any kind of edits or differences and all everything that we can see? This is all something we part of editing and validation, all this. Followed by this adjudication engine, remittances. This is all about the claim processing. This is what something that we do. Second, about the provider management. Provider nothing but healthcare provider, I'm saying, right? So we have to maintain the directory of the provider. Followed by this, what are the different contracts we had with providers? Because sometimes we have some long-term contracts with the providers. Sometimes it will be short. So provider directories we need to maintain, contracts we need to maintain, right? So what are the taxonomies we have? What are the credentializing statuses do we have? Everything will be part of provider network management. You can consider that way. Next, care management. What are the different care plans we have and how are we doing these organizations? Utilization management, workflows. All these things will be part of care management. Next, about pharmacy and premium integration, because if you want to check any kind of formulary checks or any prior authorizations or any e-prescribing interfaces, everything will be part of the pharmacy and premium integrations, all these. These are the core modules you can see. Next, billing and account receivables, because if there is any kind of billing that we have to do, right? So some customer will pay the premium. So it can be monthly, it can be quarterly, half yearly, yearly premiums will be paid. So for that, we have to generate some invoices. Payment has to be posted, right? So write-offs, if there is any billing cancellations, write-offs will be taken place, account receivables. This is also one of the module you can see in QNXT. Next one about reporting analytics means if you want to create some pre-built reports based upon the business needs we have, because if you want to take a decision on the status of the particular healthcare business or healthcare administration that we are managing, so we need to build a pre-built reports and all. At the same time, what are the dashboards and ad hoc queries? Everything can be built under the reporting analytics. Next one about security, right? So what security audit every application and the data that we are maintaining must be secure in size. At the same time, there will be some internal and external audits will be maintained by the audit teams, etc. At the same time, we have to provide secure role-based access to the people to maintain security, followed by HIPAA guidelines has to be followed under the healthcare application as in the new, because Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, we call it as, right? So using this HIPAA Act, HIPAA rules and regulations we can maintain. So these are the modules that we see. Again, I'm repeating: eligibility enrollment, member management, claim processing, provider management, care management, pharmacy and PBM integrations, billing, account receivables, reporting analytics, security and audit. These are the audits. These are the uh, different modules that we see, especially on the QNXT point of view. Now, how this module interaction diagram that we can discuss it later. Now, this is indeed understanding from the module interaction and data flow processes concept, right from the eligibility to claim, claims based upon the eligibility checks during the claim validation, what type of health insurance program is customer is having, patient is having, to what extent is this eligible, maintaining some provider directory, right? So by using some provider, because every provider, healthcare provider will have a provider ID number. So when there is any claim form that we have received, the provider ID number will be there, so that we can understand from where which provider has sent this, etc. Everything, so that contracts can be renewed, new contracts will come, existing contracts will be renewed. Some contracts can be are expired, right? So for example, that can be removed. So everything will be under the module interaction. So there must be an interaction among these modules, either from the eligibility point of view, at the same time provider and directory point of view, as I mentioned you. At the same time, care authorizations, whatever the decisions that we are taking, right? So at the same time, claim edits and denials that we are doing. Authorization, I'm referring to the care services that we are providing for customers, something like pre and post authorizations. Everything will be under the module interaction and data. Next one about the integration layer connects. As in when in the beginning of the session, I told you we have to connect with some integration systems, some clearing houses. For example, customer has provider has submitted a claim form, so payer will receive it. Okay, before payer is receiving, there will be a clearing houses in between, which are third-party companies. They will verify and validate whether all the claim data was properly mentioned or not. Everything will be verified and validated by them. If there is any corrections and all, it will go back to the provider company. So the provider will make necessary changes. Again, they'll resubmit. This is to avoid not to have any kind of rejections when claim is received by the payer. So this is where generally this clearing houses, etc., everything will be useful. At the same time, HIEs, health information exchanges we have, right? So how health information can be exchanged to the next level, next process and all. This is all about the module interactions and data flow. So this is overall one when we are working on the QNXT as a healthcare application when we try to understand. This is what something that we must be good with.